All looks good.
Uh,
Go
okay.
ahead, President.
All right. Welcome, everybody. I want to first start off with announcing our new secretary. So, congratulations to Luke. A little applause there. He has taken over the role of secretary for us. And after the meetings today, we're going to have an onboarding with the pro Elaina as far as the contracts and everything how to go. Because I've started a little bit, Luke started a little bit, and then we need the professional help from Elaina. So we're going to be meeting on that. But congratulations to Luke. We're excited to have you on. And of course, Elaina, thank you for helping train him and everything that you've done for the foundation thus far.
Of course.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for that. And along that note,
Mhm.
we did get um, three requirements out of the way. One, the synchronization of the board minutes uh, um, has been completed with the announcement of the board minutes, the board meeting, as well as the resignation of Elaina and the acceptance of Luke. Those have all been presented to our attorneys, and those all look good. And they have also filed on our behalf the secretary change with the Nevada state government. So that should all be filed. I haven't gone on to confirm that, but Benny can vouch. We received a $50 bill, I believe, stating that they made the change at the Nevada Secretary of State, and so that process is wrapping up. I think what's left is, as President put, is just some training. So I think we're all good there, which is great.
Awesome. Very good.
And I want to ask Benny, did you get the receipt by chance?
The email.
Yes, I received it via email.
Okay, great. Okay, I'm
Awesome.
trying to
Yes.
figure out if we're having blockages with filters and things. I'm trying to get things standardized there. So I'm glad that you got it. That's great.
Yeah.
Great.
So along that line of Benny wanting our financials, many of you may be wondering, why does he want the financials? So in talking over the past a week or so with Ben, he has decided that he wants to expand his position, and he was interested in taking on the bookkeeping for the foundation, as well as being the coordinator for the health hub, so the RN entrepreneurs looking at the inventory and taking care of that in the Tamale office. So we welcome Ben in his new position, and we're excited, and we will get training him as well.
Yeah, which may take a little while, but we'll get there, and we're all learning, so it's all great.
Perfect. All right, and let's see, staffing. The social welfare registration and the audit strategy. So, do you want to start this discussion
Yeah, I
or?
can just start by saying I liked it when things were simpler. Salam, I hope you can appreciate that statement. And I know that you've been dialoguing, obviously, with the audit firm, and we have had extensive discussions in Discord. And before I open it up to Salam, Warihana, and Ben to comment on where we are, I just want to make it extremely clear to everybody on this call and whoever listens to this message that the organization's prosperity is the entitlement of no one. So if we make $1 million, no one is entitled to more money. Therefore, whether that's on the revenue side or the expense side. So I'll say it one more time so everybody's got it crystal clear. Our prosperity is the entitlement of no one. So that's my position and where I'm coming from. I like things that are simple. I'm here to help people, and I'm not here for administrative costs. I understand they may be required, and that's why we're going to rely on Salam, Benny, and Warahana to decide our direction in Ghana. So with that, I will turn it over to any of those who want to start. Maybe Salam, since you've been dealing the most with them, I'll go ahead and start. We'll go ahead and start with you and get your thoughts and try to catch our board members up,
Yeah.
as well as the president and myself, because there's been extensive dialogue over the weekend I've worked the whole weekend as well. And so we just need to be caught up. So Salam, if you could go ahead and debrief the board members on where we are and catch us all up, that would be ideal.
Good evening to everyone from Ghana. Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So I woke up to a lot of messages and I took time to read everything.
Mhm.
And like Kevin rightly said, I have also been engaging the Asong and Nkrumah and Associates, the audit firm. So I had a great discussion with Marvin this morning as well.
Mhm.
Um, yes, so I think that while the audit is important and the scope of work may vary, the understanding I got from the audit firm is that external auditors, their sole responsibility is first of all to come in and audit management accounts of every organization or any organization that decide to engage them. However, in our case, Marvin, having received our financials, had to assist in preparation of our accounts. And for the purpose of this conversation, I will refer to the accounts as management accounts because those accounts are basically to be owned by Give Business and they are for us. And he's that is why he decided to correspond with us to make sure we prepare the accounts properly before the account now moves to the audit stage. So, with regard to the audit, I think the clerical misunderstanding stems from the first day of my engagement with them because they needed to understand the scope of our work and how big or small our organization was, which I made them understood that we were a relatively small organization. We've just regularized our registration as an international organization. And they asked questions like, do we own assets? What is our asset base in Ghana? And I told them we do not have physical assets base in Ghana. And their understanding was that the audit was to be limited to the operations of Ghana alone. So here they're looking at receiving expenses only related to Ghana, expenses or revenues related to Ghana, and all of that. So based on this background, I asked them to give me an estimated cost, and they gave me two options. One of it was that they prepared just an audit for us, and in that audit, the only thing they would comment on would be for us to would be regarding to our numbers. If they find out that the numbers doesn't balance, they would officially notify us and have those adjustments done, and then they do the audit for us. And this was what is classified as the light audit.
Yeah.
In this case, we would have prepared our management accounts and they would just do the audit. And that was going to cost us between 1,800 US dollars to 3,000 US dollars per year, depending on the numbers, because I had given them some clarity of the scope of work we've done. So that was the understanding they have. And going forward, when Kevin provided the financial data,
I'm sorry, really quick. Just to interrupt, Salam. So I don't know, and I'm not the kind of person that's going to go back and look through notes. I don't care about the past. I'm only moving forward. but it was my understanding, and I don't know, I'd like to know if anybody else heard it, but it was my understanding that this light version was a $1,500 to $1,800 expenditure. And so maybe I misunderstood that, and if I do, I apologize. But that was the premise in which I was going on. So that's where a lot of the confusion is. Now all of a sudden we're talking about 3,300 US a year in expenses. So I don't know if anybody else wants to comment. I don't even think it matters because it's the past. But that was the assumption that I was moving forward with as the CFO on the light version.
Yes, Kevin, I think I had a similar thing.
Okay.
I
Okay,
had
great.
something similar. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you for that because it's very clear that I could have made a mistake, but I'm glad that Warihana spoke up now and has heard similar. So I don't know how we jumped from that. And Salam, you don't have to explain it. You can explain it. It is what it is. Continue to tell us where we are. So it was under the assumption that we were proceeding with the light version between
Yeah.
15 and 1800.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yes, so the second option was to have um, what is, for lack of a better word, a deeper version. Let me use that.
Yeah.
And yes, and that will mean that they will come in as an audit firm. They will prepare. They have a team. They will assign to prepare our accounts for us, our management accounts for us, and then audit the accounts for us. And that cost was between $3,000 to $5,000 per year, based on the information I had given them. So, um,
This was the heavy version.
heavy, yes, this was the heavy version.
Okay.
Yes. So going forward, when you share the data, I mean, when I shared the data with them, and they said they have to prepare the accounts for us because the data we shared could not be used for. I mean, it wasn't a ready account to be audited. The data we shared was not audit ready, so they had to prepare the
I'm sorry, you might have broke up, Salam.
accounts, um, its own cost.
I'm sorry,
However,
Salam. You broke up for me. I hope I don't know if that was just on my side.
can you hear me?
Now I can, but you broke up a little.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay, so they had to now come in and prepare the accounts for us to proceed to the audit phase of the whole engagement. And so he shared, can you hear me?
No, I think you broke up again. I don't know if it's just
Turn off
me.
our camera. You can turn off our camera and see if that helps anything.
Is Salam breaking up for anyone, or is it us that's breaking up? Can anyone confirm?
Yes, he's breaking off.
Okay, so
Okay,
it's not
then
our
I think
side.
it's
Okay,
my network.
okay, no problem.
Yes, but you can hear me now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so having shared the data with them, they had to come in, prepare the accounts to proceed to the audit phase. And so when he saw the numbers, he told me that he asked if we have received grants before.
Mhm.
And I said we haven't received grants, and the purpose of this audit was actually to enhance us to receive grants. And so
Mhm.
he went ahead to prepare and share the accounts. Um, he said if a fee structure for audits that has two options in the fee structure when I went through the document thoroughly this morning. What I saw is that as a client or as an organization, we have the option to engage the auditors on hourly basis to work for us, or to engage them based on our revenues. So,
Which just to be clear, we would never do that. That's the entitlement part. Is just because we're now worth $1 million, they want it to go up, and I'm going to call bullshit on that. I'm not doing that.
okay. So I think the cost table he shared was on the basis of revenue fee structure, where if you look at first the first year audit, that's the year 2022, based on the revenue, which is below $2 million cedis. Based on the revenue, we are paying $750.
Right, Salam, but I want to be clear that there's no way, just like we didn't pay a grant writer based on our revenues, we'll never pay an auditor based on our revenues.
So I am just giving you a background to everything that has happened.
I see.
I'm
Okay,
not making a decision as to which option we are proceeding with.
I see. So this is all still within the light strategy. There are these two options, and you're detailing them,
Exactly.
giving us background.
Exactly. Yes, please.
Okay, great. Warihana, we're going to get to you in 1 second. Hang tight. Go ahead, Salam.
Yes. So within the light option, because the auditor have indicated clearly that they are not charging us, because I read his write-up this morning. He has indicated in the write-up that they are not charging us for preparation of accounts, and they are only charging us for the audit purposes. And for the audit purposes, which means that they are assuming that we prepared the management accounts ourselves, and they are only coming into audit. And coming into audit, they are going by the revenue revenue option, which means that our year 2022, based on the revenue option, which is below 2 million Ghana cedis, we are paying about $750. Year 2023, which is about 56 million Ghana cedis, we are paying about $10,000. And year 2024, which is about 3 million Ghana cedis, we are paying $3,000. That's the revenue model. So these are the options we have. The other option is the hourly rate. And what I see is that the hourly rate is the senior. I think the table is there. I don't know if everyone is going through it. When I mean the document, the fee structure.
I do not have it. I do not have it up. The Presidu's trying to get it up. Salam, if Presidu's got it up. I don't know if you want to share it, Salam, if Benny has it. I'm not sure who's got it. What you choose how to talk us through it.
Okay, I have to get it onto my PC so that I can share it. Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem.
Warihana, what did you have to add?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been following the conversation on Discord, on the Discord channel, and I do remember Salam saying those numbers, but I think the angle the auditor is coming from is this, right? So let's say, what example am I even going to use? Okay, let's say a company is worth 500,000 Ghana cedis, and then I come in and I audit and I certify that these people's books are good. And then I audit another firm that is worth 5 billion Ghana cedis. Now, if let's say there's a blowback from company A, it's going to be lighter than a blowback from company B, because a blowback from company B is associated with a company that has huge revenues. So I think that's where the charge based on the revenue is coming from.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
that's understandable, and I think that
Yes.
that's clear, and I appreciate that feedback. I would say though that Warihana is this a just really quick? Oh, Salam is sharing it. Let's continue the conversation in a minute, Warihana. Go ahead, Salam, with your sharing of the document.
Okay. So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you look at the hourly basis, the minimum service fee for public interest entities. So that is not um, our uh, our portion. Okay. So this was the. Can you see this table? Minimum
Yeah.
fees for non-public interest non-public interest enterprises based on turnover. So this is the table I just explained earlier on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, when you come to the minimum service charge out rate for service to international clients, because um, they are now classifying as an international NGO. These are the rates. A senior partner working on your financials at the audit level is charging $800 per hour. A partner is charging $600 per hour. A senior manager will be charging 480. A manager 400, assistant manager 300, senior 200, and a junior 100. So I believe that at this point, aside what Hannah just said with relative to the the risks or exposure or scope of work for auditors depending on your numbers or revenue, we have an option to engage based on hourly basis. But I was just doing some, I mean, after all this back and forth, personally, I sat down and I did some calculations that assuming we were going to rely on, we were going to convince the auditors to treat us as public interest entities in Ghana and not an international organization. And we're going to go for hourly rates. How many hours do we think? Because if they agree to consider us as a public interest entity and go by hourly rates, uh, the 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 rates for public institution entities are cheaper. So if you look at this table, it says that a senior partner will charge you 4,000 Ghana cedis per hour, which is $400. A partner $300. A senior manager 250. Manager $200. Assistant manager 160. Senior manager $100. Junior $60. So assuming we are to go by hourly rates, how many hours do we think the audit firm would spend in auditing just 2022 financial accounts? And which people do we want them within the firm to handle uh, um, this activity?
So
That would
so
determine, yeah, that would determine the rate and the amount we end up with.
Right. So
So
let me see if I understand this right. If we have a junior level person certify our books through this auditing firm, they're protected as much as the senior partner. So why would I ever pay a senior partner rate? This doesn't even make sense to me.
so the junior partner, even assistant managers, they can only make comments on your financial reports. They cannot sign them.
Well, let's go back to the chart of the rates per hour, and I'm going to tell you why we're not going to use them if these are their hourly rates. I'm not paying anyone $800 an hour. That's ridiculous. I've never even heard of that. Our attorneys and our CPA, who does the books from scratch, charges us $2,000 to $2,200 a year. If they think they're going to get $800 an hour, they're crazy. I will quit everything that has to do with this organization because of it. There's no one in their right mind that, unless you are blind, would pay $800 US per hour. I mean, that's you can't even comprehend. Do 800 times 40 times 52 weeks. What does that person make? $1 million a year? Are they crazy? I will not pay this. This is stupid. And so this is not even an option for me. I would barely give $100 US for this audit. That's about what if you took the number at junior, that's what we pay for our books to be prepared from scratch to our certified Internal Revenue Service in the United States. And you think I'm going to pay more than that? Crazy. Never. We got a lot of talking to do here. So I hope everybody's ready for a long meeting.
Hold on.
You see, Kevin.
Yes, a very long meeting. So let me continue.
Okay. All right.
So I think
1
we
minute,
need to draw.
Warihana. I want to hear from you. 1 second, Warihana. Let Salam finish after I vented just a little. Trust me, I got a lot more to vent.
So
Okay. So,
I
Kevin,
think that
you see the structure that they sent, right? That was just the starting point of all the discussion. So there was still room for us to negotiate, consider other options. Either we'll go with the hourly rates or we go with another person other than a senior accountant. But I feel like it's just like a starting point for us to have a discussion. So I don't think you need to panic too much.
Okay, that's
okay.
good. Thank you
So
for that
let me continue.
realization. But I will tell you that when you come at me with numbers that are ridiculous, I will turn you off. And these
Okay.
numbers are ridiculous.
Okay, let's continue.
Okay. So first of all, I want to draw a distinction that maybe we all have to be clear on. That auditing is different from preparation of books for compliance purposes. So we shouldn't even be comparing how much they charge to prepare accounts for compliance purposes versus how much they charge to prepare audits. And as I raised this conversation with the auditor, and they actually have the numbers for performing an audit in the US. And if what he told me is true, then it's even far crazy. So I think that um, these are professionals. Their scope goes beyond Ghana. They belong to a professional body that's also interact with other professional bodies across the globe. So their fees, and no one is even going to employ an auditor beyond a week to perform an audit service for their organization, except maybe these multinationals that really have a lot of digging to do. So, secondly, while I appreciate Kevin's emotions and venting as he rightly used, I think that in dealing with guys like the senior auditors, we should be more measured because these are people that can easily jeopardize our reputation or operations, because it's a network. ICAG, I think in the US, they also have a body like that for chartered accountants. And they are there to enhance organizational image to public account users of accounting information, whether it is your grantors, it is donors, it is government agencies. And these are regulatory requirements that on annual basis, firms do go through audits, external audits, or organizations go through external audits. Now, when it comes to IRS, in Ghana here, the filing of our tax revenues, you have options to either file monthly, quarterly, or annually. Mostly companies will just wait at the end of the year, they prepare their accounts and go and file annually. So if this was the purpose for which we were preparing these accounts, I believe that they wouldn't have also come up with fees like this. Probably it would have been very far less. And so I just want to make that distinction clear. Now, I settling for, let's say, a junior, which is $100 per hour. I just did rough estimate that assuming a junior auditor comes to say, I would audit your books at $100 per hour. I'm spending a week to audit each year. That is 2022, 2023, 2024. And a week is, let's say, 40 to 48 hours. So let's say 40 hours for each year. 40 hours multiplied by $100, that's $4,000 for auditing year 2022. Another 4,000 for year 2023 and 2024. So you end up with about $12,000 bill to pay.
Salam, if it takes a junior auditor 40 hours to audit 1 year of books, they should find a new career.
I'm just these are just estimates I'm
Because
making for you.
this is a 3-hour per year job. All of the numbers are present. What do you need to do?
Okay, is it possible to engage, maybe, is it possible to talk to other firms either from the US that have presence in Ghana to see what numbers they will provide if they are to audit our books?
Yeah, and so that's what we're here for, is to decide if we're going to continue discussing with this company or not. And I would say no. You shoot me a number like 800, the answer is get the fuck out of here.
Okay, so I think I'll leave that to you, or maybe
So
to the entire team.
yeah, so
If
let's go. Let's thank you, Salam. I'm not coming at you. I want you to know that.
Sure.
I'm not coming at you in any way. You've done a great job, not only with the verbal discussions, all of the messages, bringing up the documents, reading through the documents, all excellent effort in the best interest of the organization. And I want you to know that I'm coming at it from the same exact direction, the best interest of the organization. And I'll say it one more time because Daniel's here now. The benefit of this organization is the entitlement of no one. So now I'd like to hear from Warihana and her experiences, and then I want to hear from Ben as our on the ground intermediary. So let's hear from Warihana about what she's seen in the past. And if she thinks that all this is normal, I must get a new job because I should be a senior partner, for Christ's sake.
All right.
Okay, so
So let's see what you've heard and what you've experienced in the past, Warihana, as far as grant writing. And I would even question, is any of this even really necessary? Or are we just doing something that gives us a 1% chance of getting, an additional 1% of getting a grant?
okay, so the companies that have been involved in their audits were relatively very new organizations. The first one had just started out as an NGO that was born out of school in 2019, owned by a lady that is now operating in the village. They didn't have much revenues. The second one I was involved in was a school which also didn't rake that much revenues, and it was even a public institution. The other one, also relatively small company, so I can't really comment on the rates variations based on, let's say, the amount of money the organization have. Honestly, I would also suggest that maybe we look at other firms, especially if you know of any firms. If your accountant can recommend any audit firm in the US that can do this for us, probably at a cheaper rate, that would be great. And in my experience applying for grants, especially if you are looking for a big grant, let's say something in the 500,000 USD and above, they will usually ask for your audited statements, because this is a lot of money they are giving your organization. So they want that assurance that their money is going to the right company, and seeing your books that reflects the works you've done in the past, even your capabilities. If, let's say, they give you the grant, they want to see you are well poised to execute the grant once they award it to you. So there's no question about the importance of this audit. We don't want a situation where we see a grant, they are asking for an auditor statement, and then let's say the applications are closing in, let's say, the next few days, and by the time we will have our books audited, we would have missed that opportunity.
Right.
So I would say let's explore other opportunities to see if we can find cheaper alternatives, or even if we can have other conversations with the same company that we're speaking with right now, because the hours that Salam is quoting are just estimates. But once we speak with him and then we tell him that we are okay having a junior auditor audit our books, how many hours is it going to take? Then maybe we can see if that will come up with a relatively lower cost than what is quoting right now. My other concern is the company going to be okay allowing a junior auditor audit a firm that has this amount of revenue? Because auditing your books and then putting their stamp on it also exposes them to certain risk. Yes, so
So I
that's
guess
what.
so. Warihana, that's great information. Can you talk with Salam right now and decide which level of signature or approval we would need to satisfy? We don't want to have to go back and go from junior to manager to senior. I need to know which of these levels, and I'm not talking about the hourly rate because those are ridiculous. I'm just talking about the title of person that we need to sign off on our books. Which level would you recommend that we get to satisfy the most grantors?
At least a mid-level,
Okay, so
because
manager you think, or you think senior manager?
yeah, I think at least a manager, because a junior auditor, I can just start my job, let's say a year or even a week ago, and I'm a junior auditor. I just entered a business. I don't even know much.
Mm-hmm.
So a manager like mid-level should do.
Okay. Okay, so Salam, you had mentioned earlier that there's a certain level for them to sign off on the documents as an organization. Does manager work at that level for a technically is are we're buying a signature, let's be honest. So is the signature of a manager viable with this company, or do we need to go to a senior manager to get a signature?
Yeah, so what I know with audit purposes, I've worked with a microfinance institution before,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been part of their audit processes a number of times.
Mm-hmm.
Junior and senior officers do not even get closer to commenting on your audit reports. Their duties is usually gathering and preparing working papers for the manager to go through, audit it, put and then make comments. And then it takes either the senior manager or the senior partner to now come in, put it on their template. So every audit firm, most of the audit firms that I know, the reputable audit firms, have their templates. The template doesn't change how your accounts is prepared or anything, but they put it on the template, and then the senior partner puts their stamp and signature and seal on the document. This means that any external organization you are dealing with can easily identify that it was audit firm ABC that carried out this particular audit. And if there's any liabilities resulting from your financials, they can hold them, that particular audit firm, possible. So I think that to get a signature or a stamp, it will be from a senior manager and above. And I don't know how we can approach this hourly thing, because one thing I also realized was that the Asong Nkrumah and Associates are really being very professional, because in one of his write-ups he indicated that because he or their firm is preparing our accounts for us for the 3 years, their firm will absolve themselves from auditing the books so that they don't get caught up in conflict of interest. And they recommended Mensa JB and Associates. I went online and I read about Mensa JB and Associates, and I realized that they are one of the top audit firms in Ghana, and they are even recommended they are on Register of Companies permanent recommendation list. So today, I don't know if Warihana or Ben have a company of certificates, a registered certificate with them. When you flip it and you go to the auditor assigned to your company, you will see mostly it is Mensa JB and Associates. So when he said it, I went through some companies I've registered, and I realized that yeah, these guys are really rated. So we can look at it. We can also, maybe you can also talk to some audit firms in the US. We can compare the costs. I actually tried engaging Marvin to see how best they could beat down the numbers. And from what he's saying, the best they can do is $3,000 a year for our financials, and that still brings us to $9,000 in all. So I didn't want to share this information because I felt that it's after we have decided to re-engage them, there should be a formal engagement either with the presido and him by email, and all of these things can be formalized, and so that the back and forth reduces.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so Salam, you're recommending, just to be clear, you're recommending we use a senior manager or higher to do our
Yes,
audit. Okay,
yes, please.
and Warahana, you're saying probably a manager or higher. Okay, great. I understand
So
that. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to reconcile something. So if, let's say, a junior auditor or a mid-level auditor can't really put a stamp on your books, why do they have them as part of the rates?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand either. I would buy a
Yes.
junior every time
So
because they would have the liability.
yes, so one person doesn't audit a firm.
Hmm.
Usually when you engage, the right thing to do when you engage an audit firm is for them to send 2 or 3 of their staff to your organization to come and actually go through your books internally with you. The people they are sending to your organization will comprise of the junior staff, the senior staff, the assistant manager, and the number of hours they come to your firm and spend. You are supposed to pay them, and those are the rates. So this is not like they are signing off and you are paying this particular rate. Because for instance, the back and forth that we had with Mr. Marvin the updating of the accounts and what have you. If not, it is a weekend and he has decided to just handle it for us because he wanted to help. You are not going to have a senior partner or a senior manager sit down to prepare working papers for you.
Hmm.
So auditors always come as an audit team, and the team will have a composition. But in this case, the understanding has been that we are a young organization. We got registered just in August. They don't need to send an audit team, and they have to go for the barest minimum for us. And that is why, if you look at their write-up, he indicated at a point that the flat rates they were charging us, they have to justify it internally to the governing body, which is ICAG, why they were charging us that rate, because they're actually supposed to have applied the table he sent to us. So I think these are options we can explore, and maybe I also understand the frustration because this is a transition period for us, and
Right.
every organization when you are transitioning growth, it comes with all of these challenges, and it takes time for us to actually understand and then build relationships.
Thank you for acknowledging that, Salam. And I think that Warihana, just before we get to Ben, did that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah. So that would mean that if they were coming to our office, a senior level auditor would definitely have to be engaged in the final level to give us the stamp, and then the junior auditors would come and prepare the books. That is, let's say they were doing a heavy audit for us, the other one. So in this case, because they are waiving the cost for the books preparation, then we are just looking at paying the senior level auditor just for the stamp. So that means that if they were preparing our books, that would even be
Higher.
more like higher than
Yeah.
just I think I don't know, maybe it's just very expensive to
Yeah.
audit
Let me
organizations like us.
let me come in.
Yeah.
So you see why the firm is the reason why they are actually charging us this figure is that they have to assume that they've been in our office. They have to prepare these working papers, keep them, and they have to also provide materials, however they are going to do that, to justify to their external auditors, which is the governing body, when they come to audit them, that they actually went through the due processes
Mm.
of carrying out an audit to arrive at satisfying our books for us, which in reality we all know they've not done. So they are assuming a particular risk,
Right. But
and that
but
is
but Salam, let me explain that. All of the numbers that they're using have been generated by our CPA. So they have actually zero risk because they made no numbers up. The one that has the risk is our CPA.
so. I think the purposes of audit is not about just the numbers you provide, is to actually satisfy that the numbers you provided, for instance, your revenues are clean. When an auditor expresses an opinion on your numbers, it tells external financial users that your revenues are clean, the sources are clean, um, whatever you said you spent on, you actually spent on it, and all of that. But they do not know that for a fact. In reality, if all these operations from 2022 were here and everything was going on here, they would have actually come in to verify all of that, go through our budgets, go through our invoices and all of that. And that would be a lot of work. So they are assuming that high level of risk. For instance, if maybe an external user picks the accounts and writes to them that um, in year 2022 we only had less than $200,000 in donations. In year 2023 we had $4 million in donations, and we've spent XYZ year 2023 this. Can you as auditors justify where this $4.5 million came from and blah blah blah? They do not have that. That is why I think they indicated that internally they will try to justify these things by themselves. So like I said, I believe that maybe we need to just talk to another audit firm to really understand the scope of this, because in my engagement with him this morning was that they are really willing to help us and to build relationship and guide us. Um, and they are also assuming all of these responsibilities. And I believe going forward that we need to actually build very good relationship with these professional bodies, uh, so that some of these expenses may sometimes come down and all of those things. So that is the scope of it. Audits actually is not just a one-day thing. It's not you just bringing your accounts and say this is the accounts. The numbers are all valid. I can give you corresponding transactions. Sign them for me. They won't sign,
No,
because
no,
once they sign,
but but but
they
but
own
wait
it.
one second. No, our CPA will not sign off unless they exactly know where the $4 million came from. Trust me, they went through the appraisal of that donation. They went through everything. This is not just a number that I put in our books and they signed off on.
I
That's not
understand that,
not
and
what
I
our
understand
CPA
that.
does.
I
That's not
understand
what
that
our CPA
because
does.
I understand that because I know you did that with them and you have that. But remember, the auditor is not coming in assuming to have known anything. They are not coming in assuming to have known that this and that and that and that. They are coming in to verify and express a fair opinion. So at the end of the day, if they realize that maybe you didn't do ABC right, they may include all of that in their management letter, recommendations, what you should be doing going forward, the kind of ledgers to keep to manage your financials and all of that. And when Warihana spoke about grantors requiring these things, this the auditor's opinions is what tells a grantor that you are a responsible organization with your finances. Your finances are clean. When they also give you their resources, you are going to manage them well and you are going to account to them and have a third party actually account to them. Because no one is going to work with you with their money based on just uh, trust alone. They will come in assuming that they do not know where your resources come from, and they are now coming to find out and actually give a fair report.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, so there have been instances where audit firms may audit a company and put the company into serious mess, because if they audit the company and get to realize that there are some malpractices, they will put it out there. And so I think with audit related activities, they are sensitive, and um, yeah, if it's good, maybe if we can identify an audit firm either in the US or Ghana that we can work with closely and partner with them going forward. Sometimes they may even you may need some funding that will require that your auditors gives you a letter justifying your positions to add for those things. And if we build relationship, these are things that we can get done in the future, either at lesser fees or even at no fee.
I think that's a great point, Salam, to look into the future and build relationships and such. I think I'm going to hear from Ben first and then Warahana, the last things on the audit. I'm going to table this kind of discussion maybe for a day or two so emotions can settle down. We need to take some more time for ourselves because we have been working pretty hard and having 3 hour meetings, 2 hour meetings, and so forth. So I want to hear from Ben and Warahana their last thoughts on the audit, and then I'm going to go over briefly the agenda, and then we're going to be done for this morning or this evening. So go ahead, Ben.
Yes. Okay, so I think these audit firms are also trying to exhibit the power that has been given to them by
Yes.
the states. Yeah, because it's just those who are part of the Institute of Chartered Accounts. It's just these people who are allowed to do this audit. So that means it's limited to them. And so when someone comes to them, they understand the importance of this audit, and they capitalize on that sometimes to make these charges. But with the document Salam shared with us, I think that is just a benchmark of the fees that has been provided for all members of the Institute of Chartered Accounts to work within, which doesn't necessarily mean that it should comply with that. I'm sure there's also competition in the market, and um, firms would sometimes want to work with you to build relationships that you can have future businesses together. So with what they are quoting, I believe that we could, in business, there could either be an agreement or a disagreement, but it depends on the way it is carried out. Yes, so I think with what they have presented, we could have something even way more lesser than that from them, and not even a different company. Just about how we let them understand our mission. Let them. I think we've already built that relationship with them. We let them know that the amount you are charging, it's something that we cannot do it at the moment because we are so focused on other things. And if they are understanding, they'll really comply with us, knowing that we are in a relationship to work long term. Yes. So the other thing I would also like to say is maybe we can have a comparison, not just to throw these people off completely, but we have a comparison of how much it will cost from maybe another audit firm in Ghana or in the US. Like we make, because these people sometimes work together and they try to keep a cap of a particular amount, though there might be variations. So what would be best is for us to make the best from these any company we are trying to engage. Look out for those that are willing to do the work at a lesser rate, and then we move forward with them. These people are just giving us based on what they would on your negotiations, how you speak with them. And mind you, probably they could present this to another NGO or another organization and they accept it without going back and forth with them. And that is something they would be happy with. So it's like an approach to everyone who reaches out to them. But that doesn't mean it must always be settled like that. So we could still have a look at that even within the same company after we do our comparisons, just to keep him off, not um to make him look like what he has done is of no use, because I could see that over the weekend he has actually been helpful with his time, and that it doesn't mean that we use that to engage with him. But even if we are not engaging with him at all, we let him understand that no, for these reasons this is too high, we are not within that distance, so that we both go off within, or we both go off on good grounds. That, yes, that is one thing I want. And lastly too, these things, I have noticed that some of these, as they communicate, this is a very sensitive issue, as Salam has mentioned. And just as the government has placed that authority on them, we do not want a case where our organization is because we are having a little misunderstanding with a particular audit firm, they begin to flag us within the audit company, or even I see that they work closely with the registrar of companies. That is why I began with the government giving them so much authority. They directly work with the registrar of companies with everything related to organizations and how they operate in Ghana. So it is fine if we are not able to work with them. Engaging with them initially doesn't mean, or starting the engagement doesn't mean we are going to work with them. But when things are not going the way we want, we just let them understand that no, for these reasons, we would like to look somewhere else. So that is what I had to add up.
Very good. Thanks for that input, Ben. Warihana?
Ben has literally said everything I wanted to say, so I think we can table this.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very
Mm.
good.
Sorry,
Okay,
just
so
really quick, is there an action item to be taken from this?
there's going to be a follow-up meeting and in a day or two, and I think we'll have to further discuss at that time.
Okay.
So that way, we can possibly reach out to Anderson and see if they know of an auditing firm here or in Ghana, and just kind of take it more slow, because I think that amount of information that was coming into us since Friday and all day Saturday and stuff was a lot, which is good. It was all great information. We appreciated all of the time that he took to send that, and Salam's time to communicating, Warihana, everything. But I think we just need to have a follow-up meeting, just the Ghana team, in a couple of days.
Agree.
Okay, perfect. All right, so the rest of, to catch up the board, we have been discussing about the how to deliver the medications and such, the supplies in Ghana to the health hubs. We had talked about possibly scooters or motorbikes to go and refill or resupply whatever they needed. We talked about trucks. We talked about drones. We reached out to a friend of ours who owns a drone company. And so I think we're leaning more towards possibly buying a truck and the Helix. I pronounce it right?
Yeah, it's a Helix.
Okay.
Yeah, the
And the
Toyota Helix.
Toyota Helix. And so we are looking at that and doing pros and cons versus renting one versus buying one. Also, I have tried to order Warihana's Starlink. There's some issue with, I don't know if it's the address or my card, so I had to open up a ticket for that. So I'm still working on her connectivity. Let's see, the website launch. Warihana has been redesigning our website, and she's been working on that. I did reach out to our friend Ren in Eugene, and he does have a potential contact for media. So I know we had talked about that, kind of beefing up our Wikipedia page. So if there is a chance that we do a given event in Eugene, he said he'd be more than happy to reach out to this individual that she, quote, is one of our people, is
Nice.
what he said. So that's a good lead there. Okay, I think, did you have any other questions or?
No, I have provided all the tax documents for 2025 to Anderson so they can begin to prepare our and certify our financials for the IRS. And for 2025, I don't expect a response on that in the near future, as they are very busy, and we saw extensions and the certification taking place in May of last year. So we don't expect that soon. I will take the action item to reach out to Anderson this week regarding the audit and the capabilities. If I could get clarification right now really quick, I think from Warihana, Salam, you could obviously comment as well, or Benny, but from Warihana, when I ask for an audit, it needs to be exactly what do you need to be successful, Warihana? You need a signed audit from what type of organization, and what numbers need to be stated? Is it strictly Ghana CD, or is this any audit of our books internationally that will work if it's signed by a reputable audit firm? Can you elaborate on that just for 1 minute? So I asked the right question. I'll probably send you the draft, but I'd like to know before I do the draft.
Kevin, sorry, I was losing you a bit. Could you say that again?
Yeah, no problem. So my question was, can you specify exactly what we need from the audit firm to satisfy your grant requirements? We said the document needs to be signed by the firm or stamped by the firm, but beyond that, does it need to be stated in Ghana cedi? Can it be stated in US dollars if it's a US firm? And international recognition, at what level does the firm need to be?
So for the currency, I most of my grants applications are going to be around the Northern Health Shield. And because it's being implemented in Ghana, it would be great to have the figures and CDs.
Okay.
And for the reputation of the organization, any reputable organization, it's fine. We just want an organization that has good experience, good reputation, and they are well registered. It doesn't have to be like is it Ace and Young, like a very big organization.
Yeah. Can you give me just one example? Are we talking about a grant from the World Health Organization or UNICEF that we need to kind of conform to or do what they expect so that I could mention that as we expect to maybe get those types of grants?
Okay, so let's say if you're applying for a World Bank funded grant or project, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they would ask for your auditor statement.
Okay, so if it, so we're essentially saying if we had to be in layman's terms, we needed to say that we plan on applying for a World Bank grant for our Northern Health Shield project, and we'd like the numbers stated in Ghana Cedi from a reputable auditing firm. Agree?
Yes, agreed.
Okay, great.
Elaina, do you have anything else? Elaina, you might be muted.
Nothing for me.
Okay, good. How about you, Ben?
No.
Great. Salam, how about you?
Okay, I just wanted to say that I've sent an email of the Northern Health Shield structural requirement to Kelvin. I've also added the geo coordinates to it, and at the same time, I've shared a document on our drive with regards to the analysis for a vehicle or motorbike purchased. I haven't shared that of the social welfare department because I want to talk to the attorney tomorrow, the one who prepared the power of attorney for the registration of the organization, and see if he can draft something and at what fee, so that I will send all of those to the president.
Okay,
Okay, sorry. So I have the coordinates. I saw that. And then what was the other document? I heard the attorney comment. And then what was the middle document that you sent me about the Northern Health Shield?
For the is for the structure is give basic needs. Oh, okay, yeah, I think that's the vehicle acquisition
Ah,
analysis.
okay. Yeah. Good. So whether we're doing motorcycle or we're doing truck rent
Yeah,
versus buy, all of that. Okay, great. So
yes.
let's table that.
I've added. I just want to indicate that I have added a Toyota Tacoma. You know, we spoke about a Hilux. So
Yeah.
I've added a Tacoma to the analysis because it's almost, I did my research and I realized that they have almost the same features.
Okay, great. So Salam, if we can get to it, let's talk about that in Friday's meeting. I appreciate that effort.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
perfect. Luke, anything for you? From you?
Nope, I'm all good.
Okay. Danny, how about you?
Nope.
Okay. Warihana?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, good. Well, again, thank you guys for the time. I just wanted to kind of keep this meeting a bit shorter and refresh and rejuvenate everybody. So I appreciate your time. And we will reach out regarding the meeting in a couple of days to talk more about the audit firm. And everyone have a wonderful week, rest of your evening, rest of your day, and reach out with any questions, of course. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Have a great
Thank you.
afternoon or
All right.
evening.
Bye bye.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
Bye.
everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Come on. You can find something. Come on, baby, Nambis. Come on, come. You, mother,
Sorry, I had to do it because
No, it's
it's
good.
mental health.
Too much. Yeah. No, you did a great job.